Hello, I'm Jenny Johnson, and we're about to talk about First Lady Dolley Madison. So buckle up. All right, or something. So Dolley Madison, the wife to the President of the United States, James Madison, Dolley smoked, Dolley drank, Dolley dipped snuff. Dolley was a big party monster, and everyone loves her. At the time, the White House was under construction. So Dolley jumps in with this architect and she starts getting drapes and she starts getting paintings and she makes the White House, like, awesome. I'm gonna take a drink now.
Yeah, do it.
Uh-huh. And I put my pinky out so you know I'm a lady.
I thought that's what you were doing.
But then the War of 1812 happens. So when Britain, when they arrived on the shores, these British guys show up and they're like, awesome, like no one's here, so we'll just drop anchor and start trashing the place. While Dolley and James were in the White House, they get word that, holy shit, these guys have landed and they're heading this way. So James Madison's like, you know what? I'm gonna get on a horse and I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna be like, guess what? Knock, knock, president's here. And she's like, okay, see you for dinner. James leaves. She stays in the White House while everybody else in Washington was kind of being pussies and leaving. And she's like, holy shit. James just left on a horse and the shit's going down. Like, I can hear cannons going off. I can hear the shit happening. So Dolley was like, to show Washington that I'm not leaving, everyone else can be pussies and they can leave. I've got my spyglass and I'm just gonna be checking the shit out. I'm gonna take care of everything. Until this guy, he knocks on the door and is like, everything's gone to shit. The 100 guys that were securing the White House, they're gone because they're pussies. You gotta get the out. British assholes are about to come take a giant dump on Washington and they're gonna the White House up. She's like, I gotta pack my She started taking the red velvet curtains, silver serving dishes, and all the china from the White House. But then she's like, there's this beautiful portrait of George Washington. I'm not gonna leave that. She tells the servants, get that portrait out of there. And they took the portrait out, and one of the guys was like, okay, I'll just like roll it up. And she's like, no, guys, we're not rolling it up. You know, like, this is not, you know, it's not a Jimi Hendrix poster. The British arrive, you know, they're just like, burn the shit down. Like, burn the shit out of it. Y'all smile and wave at me real quick. Okay, I gotta Instagram this. She leaves, but then it's like, oh, snap, Declaration of Independence. So she takes that, I mean, in like just enough time to get out. So they trash Washington. You know, they're just really being ass. So Dolley Madison takes all the important things that meant something to this country before she left. So post all of this terrible, you know, burning up shit, all these people in Congress are like, Washington is like LA riots times 10. Why don't we just move to Philadelphia? Let's take a vote. And James Madison was like, great, this sucks. Everyone hates me and thinks that this war was my fault. And Dolley was like, I know, but what we need to do is convince these idiots that they can't be voting this way just because they're scared. I'm gonna throw some parties, because you know what I do best? So she would have these parties at the Octagon House, this like tricked out brick place. She would work the room like, you know what? I realize everyone wants to get out of Washington because it's burned to shit. It's not like that. Like, you're voting for stupid shit. Don't remove us from Washington. The White House is a symbol of this, you know, what we are. Cheers. Cheers. Guys.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody. Cheers. After 4 months of partying, they looked at Dolley and they were like, you know what, Dolley? We just partied for 4 months and you convinced us this is where the White House is gonna be, Washington. And one day, maybe Abraham Lincoln. We don't know who he is at this point, but he's gonna do stuff. And they decided that at Dolley Madison's parties. So Dolley rocked the shit out of America. And Dolley Madison was truly our first lady. And people just like fell in love with that term. And after that, every wife of a president was known as a first lady. So today, in the White House, where that portrait that Dolley saved of George Washington hangs, looking directly onto it is the portrait of Dolley Madison. She's looking out for GW. And you know what? That's pretty awesome. And yeah, that's why Dolley rips the shit out. I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
Okay.